let's begin. The author biography, 1984, written by George Orwell, as we know. Eric Arthur Blair. George Orwell is not his true name. Eric Arthur Blair is his real name. And known by his pen name, George was an English essayist, journalist, and critic. His work is character and opposition totalitarianism and outspoken support of democratic socialism. Uh, then this is the image of the first page, book page of 1984. The slogan, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, and war is peace. As we know, this is in this novel, lot many things are opposition of today's world, and there are context of Big Brother is watching you. The book is set in 1984 in Oceania, one of three perpetually warning totalitarianism states. The author and
Are you listening the voice of Mahila
forced
Bhumi?
the population into unthinking obedience to its leader, Big Brother. The story takes place in
There is a
an
very low
imagined
voice.
future, as we know. The story take place in an imagined world. In future, the 1984, there are three social classes, uh, like the inner party, the outer party, and the third is the proles, that is with their own upper and middle and lower classes. This story in the world victim to perpetual war, omnipresent government surveillance, historical negationism, and propaganda. There is a context like the the main theme of this novel is totalitarianism. In this picture, we very well understand the novel's context. This show represent the government, and under this show, there are flags and raised hands are the uh, public, which are controlled by the government. So let me define the totalitarianism in this novel. Totalitarianism is one of the major themes of this novel, 1984, and it presents the type of government where even the head of the government is unknown to the public. And this theme is serves as a warning to the people, because such a regime unleashes propaganda to make people believe the lies presented by its government. Then totalitarianism is a form of government that attempts to exert total control over the lives of its citizens. It is characterized by a strong central rule that attempts to control and direct all aspects of individual life, and through coercion permit individual freedom. Then we already seen in our classroom that 2 plus 2, commonly 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, but in this novel 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. That it shows the very very much controlled by a government. There is no freedom, and uh, which the government says is totally true. There are no any arguments by their peoples also. So this context, and if we literally discuss this, uh, then forcing Smith means uh, Winston to assent to the proposition that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5 indicates that the party demands to be in control of every aspect of his thinking and every framework through which he constructs reality. That's the party's will is all objective reality and only exists insofar as it confirms that the party's program. Then, as we know, there are three main countries, and it means superpowers in 1984 novel: uh, Oceania, Eurasia, and Estasia. Estasia. In these between these three countries, the war is never ending. Many often it will arriving. Then the major context of this novel is Big Brother. Uh, we see this Big Brother context in a government context, like today. Big Brother in the novel is a fictional character, symbol in Orwell's dystopian 1949 novel 1984. He is obsessible, the leader of Oceania, a totalitarian state wherein the ruling party and it means for its own sake over the inhabitants. Then, if we talk about today, then today on the threshold of the real year 1984, we ask ourselves how much of Orwell's fictional world has become reality and what the prospects are for a more sensible world. In Orwell's this nightmare version, the world after an atomic war has divided itself into three massive slave states. Uh, the name we already given Oceania, Eurasia, and Eurasia. And these three superpowers and about equal in strength and are continuously at war. So they seems to divided the world into three zones of influence. And further, if we talk about the differences between both of era, as today and this novel's 1984, then we come to find that in Orwell's 1984, it was considered unacceptable to have sex for pleasure, to eat chocolate, or have an alcoholic beverage or high quality. This was intended to keep people from seeking out life's pleasures and possibility, losing interest and loyalty in Big Brother. While look at these things today, we have seen taxes like we have pay taxes various modes like we forced to pay a penalty for purchasing alcohol, tobacco, or for putting gas in our vehicles because we are made to feel guilty for the damage we have apparently inflicted on the earth for trying to get to and from work each day. Even the size of soda drink are regulated in some places. So this can be the difference. And the second, in 1984, food and energy were rationed because As in all communist nations, there was not much supply, while the government would lie to its citizens and attempts to make them believe the quality of their food and drink was among the best. Truth was it was horrible, lacking the necessary nutrition, and they frequently dealt with rolling blackouts. And while if we look at today, we are scolded by the government for driving big trucks and SUVs, for uh, keeping our air conditioning on the summer, and the quality of our food is worse than ever. Uh, then the main character Winston, who is main also protagonist of this novel, he came straight from Big Brother and the Inner Party, and itself as a way to instill fear and correctness in its citizens. And if we have questioned that how does this relate to 2021, then for if we take example of this COVID-19, uh, to understanding it's in a better way. Uh, like in this COVID-19 numbers are not consistently being recorded in the most accurate way. For example, in the India, COVID-19 deaths are recorded by those who die within 14 days after testing positive. Are recorded in the list of COVID positive. It means that if a person who tests positive or coronavirus dies a week later in a car accident, his or her death is added to the list of coronavirus deaths in India. So it's will be the example of understanding its the contents of this novel. And this means we are potentially receiving inaccurate numbers of those who have died from coronavirus. Uh, Thus, in writing 1984, Orwell's main goal was to warn of the serious danger totalitarianism poses to society. He goes to great lengths to demonstrate the terrifying degree of power and control a totalitarian regime can acquire and maintain. In this context, the novel's context, uh, the all public and private places have large TV screens that broadcast government propaganda, news, and approved entertainment, but they are also two-way monitors that spy on citizens' private lives. But today, websites like Facebook track our likes and dislikes, and hack our own computers and find out what they want to know. Then there are the ever present surveillance cameras that spy on the average person that they go about their daily routine. So, uh, and here is my references. Uh, because of lacking of time, I am not able to changing my slides. So the first reference is about the context of this novel. This is capitalist creation, and the New Yorker in which you have find this the differences of Orwell's 1984 and today's context, and the last study diver in which you have if you find if you read about the COVID-19's uh, uh, relation with this novel, then you can go with study driver. And thank you very much all.
Yes, you can stop presenting now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the source? From where have you taken this? Yes, Bhumika, are you able to listen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, for example, you referred to syntaxes. Syntaxes. So, where do you refer to this?
I'm searching for this today's context and the relation differences between this and from Google I have to find this context, this sin, taxes and alcohol, chocolates, etc.
So,
contexts are
do
there.
you remember who has said that? Remember the name of the
But
person who wrote that?
the person's name are not given there.
No, it must be given. It is not like it is not given. So, what was the source? That is why I'm asking. So, if I can get a source, I can refer and I can check whether what you are saying is right or not.
Yes, sir. I think in this third reference, I have given it this source.
Now, see, one more point also. Like you are speaking from where you are speaking, there is audio. The camera is off in the screen, and where your camera is on at that place, audio is off. This combination is very important. This combination is very important. That camera and audio should be on in the same device.
Yes, sir.
Have you made camera on? You can see something so we can come to know. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that source from where you have taken it is a very good point that you have made. It is a very good point of comparing today and with
Sir,
1984.
after
But
after
whoever
this,
has
I
written
can
that,
find
we have to acknowledge.
and share with you
Yeah. Now see.
because this
Now see here the
presentation
audio
I
quality is
have
better. You have made a mistake.
refer all very much materials in this presentation like uh, uh, 10 or 15 references should be given there. Lot many things in this. So, but here I have only 3 context given references.
Okay. So are you getting my voice clearly? Yeah. Okay. So the point is that when you this presentation and assignments is a part of a research writing, and the basic lesson of research is that when you take ideas from anybody, you have to acknowledge them. You have to remember them. That's like that is very, very important. Like if you get a good idea, how is it that you cannot remember the name of the person from where you got a good idea? How is it possible?
Yes,
Like how we can not value that? So whenever we read something, the very first question that should come in our mind when we read something interesting, it is like, who is the writer? આવી સરસ વાત કોણ કરે છે? ચાલો એનું નામ નોંધી લઈએ. એના નામથી એ વાત કરવી પડે. નહીતર if you don't do that, then you are cheating. You are doing academic cheating. Then what you are doing? Academic cheating. પછી તમે તમારી રીતે લખો તો એમ થાય કે આ વિચાર તમારો છે. તમારું પ્રેઝન્ટેશન કોઈ જુએ તો એમને એમ લાગે કે આ ભૂમિકાનો વિચાર છે, બહુ સરસ ભૂમિકાએ વિચાર કર્યો છે. ભૂમિકાએ તો ચોરી કરી હોય વિચારની આપણે ચોરી કરી હોય. So a good idea, whenever a good idea comes, we always have to say who is the person who has shared this idea. એ વ્યક્તિ ન ભૂલાવી જોઈએ. એ ભૂલી જાય તો આપણે ન ગુણા કહેવાય. આપણી અંદર જે કૃતજ્ઞતાનો ભાવ હોવો જોઈએ એ પણ નથી એમ સાબિત થાય. જો આપણે જે કંઈ પણ વાંચીએ ગમે ત્યાંથી ત્યારે સારો વિચાર હોય એટલીસ્ટ એના પ્રણેતા કોણ છે, who is the pioneer of that good thought, should always be a curiosity in our mind to know that who is, and then we remember કે આ વ્યક્તિ આવું કહે છે કે syntaxes can be compared with what he is telling, and other references also that you have given about COVID-19. Was COVID-19 also referred, or you have thought about it?
No, I have thought about it.
You have thought about that, no? That manipulation of data. It is called manipulation
Yes.
of data and how it works there also. Okay. Okay. So